What's going on, guys? It's Greg Dies. Today we're going to be looking at a tutorial for the new Ion head. Since it was released, a lot of you guys got it. Demand has been unbelievable. The feedback has been really great as well, and you want a pocket for it. So today we're going to do a straight up mid pocket. This is what it looks like when it's done. This is a similar pattern to what we've been using, but the Ion has 2 extra string holes, so I want to make sure you guys know how to place them. A lot of our older tutorials will still work. You'll just have to space in those extra 2 string holes somewhere. But today we're going to give you a sidewall pattern for this Ion mid pocket. The 9 diamond top string is going to be the same one we always do, so you can check our tutorial for that before getting started, and we will go into the sidewall. All right, we're gonna start the sidewall. I got neon green so you guys can see it really easily. So we have our Hero 3. The top string is done on the second Ion sidewall hole. So we skip the first one, started the top string on the second hole, and we'll start our sidewall string on the third hole. So we're gonna start by doing that double loop at the beginning. So just through the outside of the sidewall, go up and through that first 10 diamond row of mesh, back around twice to really lock that sidewall in. You don't have to go through twice. You can go through once if you want, but we like to do it twice just because it locks it in extra tight. So make that loop, finish by making sure you go back through the mesh from the front to the back. And now we're gonna be on to our overhand knots. We're gonna do 3 of these, as you can see, to pull the mesh down nice and tight. So we've got our second diamond of mesh. We're gonna skip 2 holes, 1, 2, and come down here. So you can see there we've skipped 2, run the sidewall string through the outside, and then up from the front of the mesh to the back, and then around the top side of that loop to form an overhand knot. And that's when we're gonna pull all the slack out and get it pulled down nice and tight. So we get that channel nice and tight. We'll be ready to go. All right, so now we're going to do the third sidewall hole, skipping just 1 hole this time. See, I skipped 1 sidewall hole into the outside, back up through the mesh, and around the string. These are all the same, all these overhand knots. You want to try and pull them down to the inside so it keeps that channel nice and tight. And then 1 more. We're going to go ahead and skip 1 sidewall hole, and the same thing for the third time. Overhand knot, pulling it down nice and tight, pull all the slack out. So now you've got that nice tension there, and you can start to create the pockets. Okay, so now we're gonna start our 1s to form the pocket. So we're gonna do a 1 coming from the front to the back of that next hole of mesh. We're gonna skip 1 sidewall hole and finish by going from the outside to the inside of the sidewall and under the string without going back through the mesh. Pull all the tension out of that. Now we're gonna do another 1. So come up through the mesh. This time, we're not gonna skip any sidewall holes and go right through the plastic. Pull that down nice and tight. And now we're gonna do a 2. So we're gonna bunch 2 diamonds together. So from the front to the back of the first diamond, and then without going back through the head yet, go from the front to the back of a second diamond. You'll see here that's gonna bunch those up. We're gonna skip another sidewall hole and come right down to this one and finish that off by just going through the head. And you can see when I tighten it, those are gonna bunch up real tight together and form that pocket. And now we're gonna finish off with a simple 2 1s. So for the 1, just through that second to last hole of mesh, skip a sidewall hole, and finally our 1 tie off. So for the end of the tie off, I always go from the back to the front of the mesh. So coming this way, and then we're just gonna simply go, because it is the end, from the inside to the outside of the second to last sidewall hole, and that'll make the tie off nice and clean for your bottom string. Then you can do a loop if you want, or you can just tie your finishing knot, and you have the sidewall pattern complete. So there you've got your completed sidewall. You can see the pocket turns out really nice in the middle of the head with a channel that's pretty tight. This is a really solid pocket, something I would recommend. It's a good place to start if you want a good amount of hold and whip. Again, for the bottom string, we always do a really simple 2 loops, but you can also do a single loop if you want. The bottom string is pretty simple, so you guys can mess around with whatever you want there. And for shooting strings, we generally do 1 nylon and 1 straight, but again, that's a place where you have some flexibility to customize the pocket for yourself. If you want to move the shooters down a little bit further in the head, it's going to have a little more whip. and have a little bit more hold, so you can mess with that on your own as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to shop the Ion at the link down below. Leave any questions you have about this tutorial or the head or the mesh in general in the comments. We'll be happy to answer them. Like if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't, and have a great day.